for lunch I had 7 cashews because I'm nervous about the show. But I did bring a Ziploc bag full of pizza, so if the show goes well, I'm going to have some after. How does that sound? Does that sound good?
Please give it up for Natasha Vaynblat.
Oh, thank you. Wow. I know you just clapped, but clap if you're in your 30s or older. My people. Okay, clap if you're in your 20s. Wow. Okay, congrats. I don't want to scare you, but being in my 30s, something I've discovered is aging happens rapidly in your 30s. I started 30 with a few gray hairs. I'm 35. And now I'm saying things like, I can't have that pasta. It makes my knee hot. It's not a young person ailment, you know? It's not like, oh, I've been dancing all night, now my feet hurt. It's like I had spaghetti and now my legs are al dente. Sorry if that joke is too fusilli. I've already stopped looking at mirrors, you know, not because I'm concerned about what I look like. I've just come to the conclusion that I don't think they work. Yeah. I have yet to look the same in 2 mirrors, you know? And yet, they're all made out of the same stuff, glass, you know? And whatever you dip the Capri Sun kids in to make them metal. And yet, I'll be doing my makeup in the bathroom mirror. You know, I'll be just doing a smoky eye, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like Charlize Theron from Atomic Blonde, you know? And then I'll go into the hallway mirror, and I'm like, no, it's actually Charlize Theron from Mad Max Fury Road. The eyeshadow goes to my forehead, and I'm bald now. The mirrors in stores, those are the worst. You know, the way that's like, they're tilted, the lighting. Every mirror in a store, it makes me feel like I'm the evil queen in Snow White, you know? I'm like, oh my God, I am the fairest one of all in this shacket, you know? This store really is made well. And then I'll get home, look in the mirror, and I'm like, who invited Eileen Wuornos? Thank you. Most recently portrayed by Charlize Theron in Monster. Yeah. The only way I can stay healthy is by working out. But I hate just going to the gym and doing, you know, the treadmill or weights or something. I need to have a weird-ass workout class, okay? Luckily, New York City, chock full of them, okay? So we're going to play a little game called Real Class or Fake Class, okay? I'm going to give you a class description, and you're going to shout out real or fake, all right? Real or fake. This is a cycling class, but instead of having the bicycles in a studio, they're submerged underwater. Real or fake? Real. Real, yeah. Aqua cycling, Tribeca, Thursdays at 5. Very good class. They send you an email beforehand that's like, make sure to wear a bathing suit, bring shower shoes. The thing they should also tell you is, be prepared to spend the rest of the day slowly leaking chlorine out of your vagina. Yeah. Either it happens to everyone, or I'm a very aggressive rider. Okay, real or fake, this is a yoga class where one of the moves, the instructor asks you to imagine squeezing your genitals back inside your body. Okay? Real or fake? Real. Kundalini yoga. Yeah. Williamsburg every hour on the hour. I asked the instructor why we do it, and he said it's to harness your sexual powers for good. I was like, dummy me. I've been squeezing my anus for evil for years. Last one, real or fake? Fart aerobics, you get abs by farting. Real? Yeah. Penn Station, 4 a.m. We meet right by the Sbarros. Come check us out. I'm a pretty hygienic person. Clap if you like brushing your teeth at night. You're crazy. You're crazy. I do it, okay? I brush my teeth every night, but it makes no sense to me, okay? I do it every night, and every night it pisses me off, all right? Because here's the thing, okay? How does this make sense, all right? The last thing I do before I go to bed is brush my teeth. Then I lie still with my mouth closed. And then when I wake up, my mouth stinks. In any other situation, you would not be okay with this. Think about it. If the last thing you did before you went to bed was wash your dishes, put them away in a cabinet, all right, went to bed, and then woke up, opened the cabinet, and you're like, these dishes smell and feel like a bunch of skunks fucked on them. I'm like, we're doing something wrong with the dishes, you know? There's not enough research on this, okay? So I've come to my own conclusion. I think at night your teeth fart. Which means your mouth's a butthole. You have two buttholes, one just has more teeth. Okay? So I don't know why we're up in arms about eating ass, you know? It's just mouth to mouth. If you don't believe me, next time go to the dentist, ask for a cleaning, but get in the chair, face down, ass up. See if he bats an eye. He'll just be like, looks like you haven't been flossing, you know? I can't speak for dentists, you know? Never been one. I did play one in a commercial once, but thank you. I don't think that's nearly as impressive as once I was in a commercial with the actual Aflac duck. Yeah. I'm gonna give you, thank you so much. I'm gonna give you a little peek behind the curtain, okay? So the way that they get the duck on camera to look where it's supposed to look is off camera, they hold another duck. Yeah, it's a 2-duck operation. Yeah. It's actually 2 trainers that hold the duck. One that keeps its wings closed and the other keeps its beak shut. Yeah. So when I saw that on set, I was like, okay, that seems pretty intense, you know. But then again, they're professional animal trainers, so I guess they've just learned that the best way to train ducks is with duck hostages. You know? They're like, yeah, you know, with cats and dogs, we use treats or sound cues, but with ducks, you need a much more holistic approach, you know? You have to get to know the animal, figure out who their friends and family are. And then you have to use that information as a weapon. So if Daffy wants his wife back, he's gonna have to perform. Next time you see an Aflac commercial and you hear the duck going, Aflac, I just want you to imagine there are captions to that commercial that say something like, Daisy, I'm so sorry. Okay. I had no idea, but if they hurt you, do not be concerned, because we are covered both at work and at home, thanks to Aflac. You know? Yeah. I don't do commercials anymore. I now work for television. I work in an office, and so we're going in studio all the time, but we still use Zoom meetings. And a lot of people on staff find this very annoying, okay? Not me. I don't mind them at all. But I do have one gripe about Zoom meetings, and that is there's a double standard when it comes to eating lunch. You know? If you're in person eating lunch in a conference room, everyone's like, nice, good, you know, way to work through lunch. But if I'm on a Zoom meeting, having a baguette in front of a green screen of the Eiffel Tower, all of a sudden I'm making a mockery of the office. Yeah? I have a little hack for you, all right? If you are on a Zoom meeting and want to have lunch, okay? Whatever you want to have for lunch, ratatouille, Waldorf salad, okay? Classic lunch stuff, okay? Here's what you do. You put it in a coffee mug. They think you're drinking cafe au lait, you're slurping carne asada, all right? Here's what you do, okay? Open your mouth, let it slide down your gullet. Okay? And then whenever you have to chew, just pretend it's too hot. Just go, oh my God, it's so hot. Nom, 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 nom. Oh my God, it's so hot. I hope none falls on my pants. That's lie number 2. You're not wearing any pants, okay? I do wear pants when I eat lunch, okay? But not when I'm having coffee. Coffee I have on the toilet. Cut out the middleman. That's what I say. I don't know about you, but for me, coffee is a dangerous drug, okay? After 1 cup, I'm like, woo, I'm getting everything done. And after 2 cups, I'm like, something is being done to me. And the problem is, coffee, it's cocaine, all right? But the confidence goes straight to my butthole, So whatever mess I made yesterday, I forget, I'm like, today I've got the gut of Zeus. And after 2 cups, inevitably, I make a Medusa in my shorts. It's kind of the fancy Greek myth way of saying I shit my pants. So don't let people tell you a master's in Greek literature is not useful, okay? You use it every day. Yeah, thank you. That's why I don't understand people who are like, oh, let's meet up at a coffee shop. Let's have a date at a coffee shop. Let's have a meeting at a coffee shop. I'm like, coffee shops are public shit houses. They just happen to play Nora Jones, Lots of coffee shops in New York. I've been here over a decade. I love it, okay? But it does warp one's brain. I've been here 13 years, and I went on vacation recently. I went to a lake house. Gorgeous, Just walking along the water. I saw a bird flying over the water. And for whatever reason, my genuine first thought was, wow, someone kicked a piece of trash really high. And I had to be like, no, that's a bird. Someone kicked that bird really high. In New York, it's hard to tell. Is it a bird or is it a flock of used condoms headed west? It's hard to tell. It really warps your brain. I saw a headline that said, man found to be living in an apartment with 600 rats. And my first thought was, must be nice to have space to fit 600 rats. There's rats everywhere. Okay? Everywhere in New York, especially the restaurants, okay? Don't let the health code letter grade fool you, all right? The higher the letter grade, the smarter the rats are, okay? Yeah. A+ means those rats are A+ at hiding. That's what that means. If you're at a restaurant and you do not see a rat, it is in the chef's hat, okay? It's making your bolognese. When I saw that Disney movie Ratatouille, I was like, this is not a cartoon, this is a documentary. That's the takeaway. Also had a very different takeaway when I saw Beauty and the Beast. I was like, this is not a movie about how love conquers all. The takeaway is this is a movie about how bookish women are sexually attracted to bison. That's what that's about. That's what they want. I can do it for any Disney movie, okay? Shout one out. Aladdin? Never seen it. Okay. Any Disney movie. Shout one out. Pocahontas? Never heard of it. Okay. Any Disney movie.
Bambi.
I'm sorry?
Bambi.
This bit is over. Okay. That's how you do crowd work, okay? Thank you so much. They say I can't do crowd work. Be a crowd work comedian, they say. Done. I'm very protective of New York as well. I had a friend visit from out of town, and he was like, oh my God, there's so much trash here. And I was like, well, your breath stinks. And you brought that from Arizona. It's easy to love New York. You just got to change your perspective, all right? That's it. For example, I used to hate taking the subway. I was like, this is an unreliable, inefficient mode of transportation. Until I realized what the subway actually is an incredibly affordable, year-round haunted hayride. I mean, it functions just like a haunted hayride. randomly. You'll find yourself stalled in pitch black darkness. Performers will lunge at you from every corner. You'll find yourself sitting in mysterious substance. You're like, what is this? Is this real blood or fake blood? It's cum. Real New York City cum, you know? It's the good stuff. What dreams are made of, that kind of cum. Are you guys having nightmares? Clap if you're having nightmares. Me too. I love them. Don't be scared of them. Because turns out nightmares are actually good news wrapped in a frightening package. Yeah. I learned this from dream websites. And I learned this from one dream in particular that I had that I was like, this can't mean anything good, okay? The dream was that I was kidnapped, tortured, and then in my dream, murdered. I looked it up on a dream website. Do you know what it means? It means my subconscious is trying to tell me great changes ahead. Maybe a promotion. It's like if you dream you're being buried alive, well, you know what grows in soil? Seeds. Girl, you ready to have a baby? The one thing I do, the one gripe, okay, I still have about New York is the catcalling. I just find it so intimidating, you know? And I want to be intimidating back, but I'm a petite woman, you know? I can't rattle a man physically, all right? But I am kooky. So what I found I can rattle is his sense of space and time. Feel free to try this. Whenever a man yells, "Yo, nice tits," I just turn around and go, "What year is it?" That's it. I don't even need pepper spray. No. I just carry a Newsweek from 1984. And I shake it. I say, "Sir, is this today?" Yeah, that's it. It's kind of my unhinged woman character. I exclusively do that unless a man flashes me his penis. And then I say, "Oh my God, we have to get you to a hospital." It's my concerned doctor character. I'm actually teaching a 6-week self-defense character development class. You can sign up in the back afterwards. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really want you to sign up, so I'm going to throw in a freebie lesson for you right now, all right? Something else I learned recently is the meaning of the phrase, "She's a real, see you next Tuesday." Okay? Clap if you know what this phrase means. Okay. I'm not going to pick on you. Clap if you do not know what this phrase means. Anybody? Okay, great. Safe space. Don't worry, okay? So hold on to your bonnets, okay? It means cunt, okay? She's a real, see you next Tuesday. I had heard it, but I thought it meant flighty. Like, she's a real see you next Tuesday or whenever. She's not gonna put it in her calendar. Which means I have spent years calling disorganized people cunts. I'm like, "Oh no, you misplaced your keys. You're a real cunt." You know that? You've only got one glove. Where's your other glove, you crazy cunt? So I'm looking forward to making some female friends this year. Yeah. Actually, I got drinks with a former roommate recently, who's a very good friend, and we were several drinks in, and so I think she finally felt confident enough to tell me this. She was like, "Here's the thing, I loved living with you, but I gotta tell you, I always knew when you were taking a dump." I was like, "Oh my God, did I stink up the apartment?" She goes, "No. I knew you were taking a dump because every time you'd loudly repeat the phrase, 'Oh boy.'" I was like, "That can't be true." I've since listened and she's correct. I'm just blown away by what the body can do. I'm like, every day, I'm like, I did that? Oh boy. So I was working on this as a joke. Okay, so I had my laptop open, and I had it open to a brand new Word document, and I had written the phrase, "Oh boy, when I poop." All right, and then I went, great, and I had a glass of water next to me, spilled it all over the laptop. Yeah, went completely black, could not turn this thing on. So I took it to a computer repair place. Yeah. They do incredible work there. Not only do they bring it back to life, they bring it back to its last moment of life. All right? So, the technician, this sweet elderly man, turns on the laptop, and what pops up but the only thing that was open, all right? Which is a Word document with just the phrase, "Oh boy, when I poop." By the way, a little peek into my writing process, all right? When it's a brand new joke, I like to bold and underline it. And I don't know if this is the protocol everywhere, but at this place, you have to verbally confirm that everything looks in order before you get your laptop back. So I had to look this man dead in the eyes and be like, 100%. This is exactly what I was working on. In fact, it's my most important thought is I have bolded and underlined it. I asked, I was like, is this one of the most embarrassing things you've ever seen? And he goes, absolutely not. But I'll tell you what, it's always butt stuff. It's like, I don't know how that makes me feel, but I guess thanks, I guess. So I've lived in New York for over a decade, but I actually was born in Russia. So I was born there, and my parents and we fled when I was 7. You probably can't tell. I'm Russian, because of my fun outfit or approachable demeanor. But I can turn Russian in an instant. Okay, you ready? Close your eyes. Okay, I'll tell you when to open them. Here we go. Open them. Здрасте. Зима тоже взяла вашего сына. Which, if you're not a fluent Russian speaker, is a very common Russian greeting of hello. Has the winter also taken your son? Yeah. So, feel free to try that. I've only been back once. I went back when I was in my 20s. I was like, let me try to see if I can reconnect with this culture. And so I went back and I was like, trying to be a tourist, seeing all the sights. So in Russia, if you're a citizen, you can go to all the museums for free. But if you're a tourist, you have to pay. So I went to this museum and I headed straight for the Russian entrance. And it's like, again, I'm not a Russian citizen, but I was like, I'll trick them into thinking I'm Russian. So I go up to the entrance. The security guard immediately is like, what is this quirky best friend vibe? Okay. You're not Russian. How I know? You smile at strangers, which is weird and pathetic. Also, your eyeshadow way too subtle. But you do not respect rules and try to cheat system. That is most Russian. Come on in. So it's trying to get into the Hermitage, which is basically the Metropolitan Museum, but in St. Petersburg. Fun fact about the Hermitage is they employ, or I shouldn't say employ, they take elderly cats from shelters. Kind of like cats, who are blind, deaf, or very old, and they have them in the museum hunting the mice. Yeah, which is maybe sweet, but also the most Russian thing, They're like, what is wrong with this cat? It is at death's door? No problem, we will find it work. Cat will work until its last day. No problem. I really don't know anyone in Russia anymore besides I have one childhood friend who we reconnected as adults. She flew into JFK, and we spent the day walking around talking about the differences between our cultures. So again, I'm a fluent Russian speaker, but my vocab is that of a well-spoken 7-year-old, Very well-spoken, okay? Very. And so, so we were just kind of like chatting back and forth. And the thing that she said she was most surprised by is that in the US, you can be gay in public. So this is still illegal in Russia. So I was trying to be really supportive about the US. I was like, not only that, but in the US, if you're gay, you can get married, you can have a family. But the more I talked to her about gay rights, the more uncomfortable she got. So that made me really upset. So that night I called my mom and I was like, I spent the day walking around with Dasha, but every time I brought up gay rights, she got really uncomfortable. I'm not going to condone that. I don't know if I even want to see her again, And my mom was like, okay, hold on. What's the word that you used for gay? And I repeated it. She was like, yeah, Dasha might have been upset because you spent the last 6 hours saying butt boys. If you're uncomfortable now, imagine how Dasha felt when I would not let this go. I was like, Dasha, in America, we respect butt boys here. Some of my best friends are butt boys and front butt girls. She's gonna go back to Russia and be like, well, Americans say they believe in equal rights, but I don't think they mean it. Which means I unintentionally gave her a very accurate depiction of American culture. Right? Yeah. So it's just me and my parents, and we've been in the US for over 20 years, and I feel like we've adjusted to American culture well, but there's still some things we mess up. My mom, for example, still calls me every April Fool's. And every time she says, Natasha, Happy April Fools. This is a big day for you. It is, of course, comedians' holiday! She thinks April Fools is like Christmas for comedians. Adorable. So wrong. Adorable. In her defense, though, I, as a kid, for the longest time, also didn't understand April Fools. I thought the best prank was taking a pair of my father's slippers and placing them on the hood of his car. And then we, as a family, would walk out to the car and be like, excellent April Fools. Very good. Meet back here next year. Very good. Very good. My dad, on the other hand, has yet to have a successful conversation with an American person. Not because he's not trying. He's trying so hard. It's just, to a Russian person, there's a very different definition of what it means to have a polite conversation. To an American person, a polite conversation means you're smiling, you're nodding, you're in agreement. To a Russian person, a polite conversation is a debate. And if you lose, you bring dishonor to your family. I overheard someone trying to have a polite conversation with my dad. They were like, nice weather today. And my dad's like, you think today nice? Everyone knows only nice weather April 25th. Not too hot, not too cold. All you need is light jacket. Miss Congeniality, look it up. I know he left that conversation being like, Boris, you just made another best friend. I told that joke at a show, and I had someone come up to me afterwards, and they were like, thank you so much for telling that, because I had no idea, because I have this Russian coworker, and I thought she hated me, because we'd fight all the time, and she slashed my tires. I was like, all right, in that particular case, I don't think she liked you, She loved you. That's a proposal. That's a Russian promposal. Slashing the tires. My mom is fully into American culture. She's drank the Kool-Aid. So much so that she told me last time I visited that she said, when she dies, she would like to be cremated, and she wants her ashes shot out of fireworks on the 4th of July. Yeah. I was like, I'll do it, but this sounds more like a deranged Sweet 16. You know? It's like, I'm gonna be cremated at the California Pizza Kitchen, and then my ashes are gonna be scattered outside of Hot Brian from Soccer's house. You know? She's hip. My mom's really hip. How hip is she? That's very sweet. You don't have to do that. She's so hip that she currently, at 65 years old, has just gotten into house music. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like, she's not a club kid doing party pills, you know? She's a suburban housewife doing dishes as the bass drops. The vibe in my mom's house now is TJ Maxx inside East Berlin. You know? The counter is still decorated with rooster figurines, but they're all shaking from the reverb. She's like found this community online. She's in these like YouTube house music chat rooms. On top of that, she's not only in them, she is moderating these chat rooms. I'm all for it. All right, my one concern is I do worry through this process she might currently be being catfished. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. We can kind of decide as a family, okay? So one of these new friends in this internet chat was like, you also have to check out the music of Bryan Ferry. Clap if you know who that musician is. Yeah, okay. And so she goes to his verified YouTube page, watches his Glastonbury concert, leaves a comment, gets a direct message back, from the verified Bryan Ferry account that says, really loved your comment, spoke to me deeply. Let's talk privately on WhatsApp. The comment my mom left was, nice job, Bryan. That's what really spoke to Bryan. He's like, this, she sees me, okay? So I'm like, Mom, I think you're getting catfished, okay? Because this man can't turn on his video, he can't call, all he can do is text at 1 a.m. And my mom's like, he needs me. By the way, my mom is still married to my father. I asked him if he was concerned, and he was like, I don't have time. There are so many World War II documentaries I have to watch. It's just not a priority, you know? I think she's not gonna listen to me. I think the only way to get her out of this is I'm gonna have to catfish my mom, you know? I'm going to come up with a new persona. I'm going to get into these chat rooms. The only problem is I know nothing about house music, all right? So if I don't school myself, she's going to block my ass. I'm in some weird Hallmark movie, you know, about a mother and daughter who finally learn to love one another through house music and grifting, you know? I already know the trailer is going to end with her yelling at the computer screen like, what? You're my daughter. I thought you were dead mouse. The apple does not fall far from the tree. Because I have currently been dealing with credit card fraud. Ooh, yeah, I'll tell you what's going on. So, about 4 months ago, I saw a random withdrawal on my debit card from Zip Through NC. I was like, I don't recognize this business. Sounds like a place that gives speedy vasectomies. All right. I don't have a scrotum, have never taken it to North Carolina. All right. Call up Wells Fargo. I'm like, this seems fraudulent. They're like, absolutely. Here's your money back. Here's a new card. Great. I think it's over. A month later, on my credit card, I see a charge. Zip Through NC. Call them. Get my money back. Get a new card. A month later, we're back to my new card. Okay. A month later, now we're on the credit card. Back to the debit. Back to the credit. So at this point, I have changed my cards 6 times. All right? I'm like, what is going on? How is Zip Through getting my information? So I take my computer to the tech guy at work. And I'm like, can you run spyware on it? You know, just to see if they're like in my laptop getting my logins. And which, by the way, is not a thing. Okay? He's nice enough to be like, sure, and just kind of slaps his fingers on the keys for a little, you know? Nothing comes up. I'm like, Joey, zip through is ruining my life. And he says, hold on, do you use the cafeteria upstairs? I'm like, yeah, I have it set on auto withdrawal so I can zip right through. The call is coming from inside the house. I'm the credit card fraud. Some of you might not realize I have stumbled on the perfect scam, all right? Here's what would happen. I would go up to the kiosk upstairs that, by the way, said zip through, just wasn't reading it, okay? NC does not stand for North Carolina, it stands for no cash, all right? Load up my debit card, buy lunch, call Wells Fargo, get my money back. Load up my credit card, do the whole thing all over again. I'm the Bernie Madoff of lunch. I have conned Wells Fargo out of over $450. Have spent it all on Waldorf salads. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for pesky me. Because a week before I went to Joey, I was like, this has to stop. So I submitted a report to the Federal Trade Commission. Yeah. Lincoln Park was right. I am my own worst enemy. So now I'm living on the lam, you know, off the lam, not having the gyros upstairs. I thought it was all over. And then a new hire recently was like, Natasha, the craziest thing happened. Every time I buy lunch, I get a call from Wells Fargo. And they're like, here's your money back. I am bringing this cafeteria to its knees. I'm the next level of a Karen. I'm not calling the management, I'm calling the government. Yeah, that's the power of being a white woman in our society, you know? It's powerful, yeah. Yeah, we're powerful, but we are lame, you know? White women, we're lame, we're lame. We're kind of like the canary in the coal mine when it comes to what's cool, you know? As soon as a white woman starts chirping about a trend, that thing's got 24 hours, you know? Before it goes from like chill to chuggy. There's so many examples, you know? Yoga was a respected workout until we started greeting people by saying namaste, you know? Snoop Dogg was a gangster before Martha Stewart got her alabaster claws in him. Now he bakes weed into macarons. Rosé used to be a drink enjoyed by ancient scholars. Yeah, Plato, Socrates. Now it's exclusively enjoyed by women named Megan. That's Megan spelled with 3,000 E's. But I think we can use our powers for good. You know, I think if you have a friend or a loved one who is into something and you want them to stop being into it, hire a white woman to be into that thing. So easy. For example, let's say you have a boyfriend who spends way too much money on whiskey. No problem. I'll show up at the bar where he's drinking. I'll hold up his favorite bottle. I'll shout so that everyone can hear. If you like Glenfiddich, you're just like me, a Scotch biatch. I'll post it with the hashtag risky whiskey business. Done. He'll never sniff another snifter. Yeah? If you want to know what white women are coming for next, you got to look at white lady Twitter. You might notice Pinterest, you know? And white women were very affordable, okay? You don't even need to, for these services, you don't even need to pay us cash, all right? What we love is little hats. Little cupcakes. If you're wondering, does a white woman want it, ask yourself, does a hamster need it? It's my big business idea. I got another one for you. All right, but first you have to know about this real website. So there's a real website called Mr. Skin. All right, this is a website that lists all the timestamps in films where the woman gets naked. All right, so if you're like, oh, I want to see Titanic, but really for Kate Winslet's Milky Jugs. All right, 81 minutes in. All right, that's where you go. I actually have no problem with this website. But I do want a website like that for straight women like me that also lists all the timestamps in films where the man apologizes. I already have a name for it, www.mrsorry.com. The homepage is just going to be Pedro Pascal neck up, all right? He's looking directly at the camera and he says, I see now, the issue was my tone. It wasn't what I said, it was how I said it. Slipping out of my chair. Incredible. My husband and I have been married 10 years. Thank you. And we're certainly not an old married couple, but we're also not newlyweds. We're in this new phase of our relationship I have diagnosed as siblings who fuck. Just kind of Blue Lagoon meets Dumb and Dumber. That's where we're at. It's like 50% sex, 50% pranks. Either the underwear is slowly being slid down my legs or yanked up my asshole. We bought a fake turd. We just kind of hide around the apartment. It's kind of like a sexual afikoman. And if you didn't get that joke, congrats on accepting Jesus Christ into your heart. And I don't even know, there's no prize. If you find it, you just hide it again. I think it'll end when the turd turns into a real boy, I guess. I don't know. We've also started dressing the same. Yeah. I didn't even... Wait, hold on. I want to do one more turd joke, okay? Okay, it'll turn into a real bowl. Okay, I'm going to do this again. It's an album. We can start and stop, right? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It might not be worth it because I truly have just come up with it on the spot. Okay, yeah, so we have this... Okay, so we have a fake turd, We just kind of started hiding around the apartment. There's kind of no end to it. I guess it'll end when the turd turns into a real boy. And that's only because I've given it googly eyes. Okay. That was not worth it. You're very nice. Not worth it. You're too nice. Okay, we've already... Now you saw my mind was like, you gotta do the googly eyes thing. Go back. You gotta break the fourth wall. So my husband and I have also started dressing the same. I didn't even notice until a neighbor, unprompted, took a photo of us walking in the street. We were wearing matching overalls and bucket hats. I didn't even recognize it was us at first. I was like, who are these adult fraternal twins? And why are they kissing? We've been married so long, I don't even understand how single people talk anymore. I had a friend brag to me. She was single, and she's like, Natasha, this weekend, I had sex with 2 people at the same time. And for some reason, when I heard sex with 2 people at the same time, I didn't assume threesome, but assumed she had some sort of sexual Mrs. Doubtfire situation. Like she'd scheduled 2 sexual appointments and was running back and forth between the 2. Wigs falling off, fake teeth left on the penis. They don't make the kind of porn I like. I don't like regular porn. It's too bright. It's too zoomed in. I'm like, who is this for? It feels less like it was made to turn people on and more like it's for doctors to answer the question, how much can we fit in a rectum? There is one porn that I saw that truly the best I've ever seen. So I saw it when I turned 18. I rented it from a video rental store. Yeah. For any Gen Z people in the audience, that's like if Netflix was a house. Yeah. So I, turned 18. I went to the cashier, showed him my ID, and it was me and my other high school friends who turned 18. And he pointed us to the back. So we went into that room, parted the anal bead curtains. And there was one man who was browsing. And for a second, his eyes lit up. Because it was like the sex god had smiled upon him, Just 7 barely legal teens had come in looking for sex, But then his anklet beeped and he had to scurry away. And I picked something at random, But boy, did it deliver. This was a story about a woman who was a writer, check, okay? All right, a woman who's like working creatively and being paid for it, I'm coming already. So she's a writer and she's suffering from severe writer's block. So she decides to rent a cabin upstate, right? Turns out the cabin is haunted by a bunch of horny ghosts who, through the process of sex, give her their stories. I mean, sure, you've seen a woman penetrated, but have you seen her plowed with plot? She's not making an O face, she's making an ode face. She's squirting story. I don't have an ending to that joke. I'm suffering from severe writer's block. My husband and I are at an age where we're thinking about having kids. But the issue is we both want to be the dad. Yeah. I want to be a dad, I want all the joys of parenthood without any of the body horror. My friends who've given birth, they're like, Natasha, it's so magical. You and the baby become one. And I'm like, what's also magical is your vagina and your asshole become one. I want to be the dad. I want to take my baby out on the stroller, have strangers silently applaud me with their eyes, while my husband is the one waddling behind me wearing a maxi pad full of Icy Hot. People are coming up like, when is he going to lose the baby weight? I'm like, yeah, I know. Timothy Chalamet lost it in 6 months. Ryan Reynolds, you can't even tell from the back that he's pregnant. So I think we're going to adopt, That way we both get to be the dad. I don't know how that is not adoption's tagline. Adopt. We're all dads here. Being a dad is better is because being a man is better, specifically for one reason. Men's bodies are built so they can fuck and get fucked at the same time. Ladies, can you imagine that amount of pleasure on top of the joys of fatherhood? Game over. I don't know what kind of parent I would be, but I wouldn't be like my mom, who made me lotion her back. Which doesn't sound that strange until you think about it still to this day as an adult. If I hear the shower faucet turn off, my first thought is, gotta grab the Jergens, mother is dry. Fucks you up. Fucks you up. My husband and I do have a son, actually. His name is Clarence and he is a dog. We're actually his third owner. He came with that name. We're not really sure what happened prior. He's very hush-hush about the whole situation. And before you're like, wow, they're such good people, they adopted a dog. When we got to that shelter, we're like, we'll take that dog with abs, okay? That dog is ripped. We'll take one hot sun, please. Easy. He's a sexy dog. But he's also a dog with night terrors. Yeah, which is exactly what it sounds like. In the middle of the night, our sweet boy will jump up on our bed, wide-eyed, screaming. And you can't wake him up. So it's just kind of a family scream. That happens. When it started, my husband and I were like, okay, well, maybe this will just go away on its own, Which is a true testament to New York City neighbors. For a week, it sounded like my husband and I's favorite activity was to stab a dog. No one reported it. They're like, yeah, they kill dogs, but they don't steal our packages, So we finally took him to a doggy neurologist. which is not a dachshund in a lab coat. It's a human woman who prescribed him Prozac. Now, if you're on Prozac, I don't know how that makes you feel, you know? Either that means my dog's anxiety is so intense he needs human medicine, or your anxiety is so bullshit you're on doggy pills. I don't know. Yeah, you know, I think it means that we're all the same, across species, across breeds. Because I could use my dog's symptoms at my therapist and get his prescription. It'd be very easy. I'd be like, well, doctor, I'm feeling pretty anxious, particularly around dinner time. Yeah. I basically yelp unless the food is in my bowl. I find doorbells triggering. And whenever I see my husband, I get so excited I piss on the floor. Something 5 milligrams wrapped in peanut butter. Our boy loves peanut butter, which is great because it's the only thing that distracts him when my husband and I are trying to have sex. Because the other cool thing Clarence does is he desperately wants to get in on the action. Okay? From his perspective, I get it. All right? He's like, Mom and Dad, the sounds and the stinks coming from you guys, that feels right to me. You know? What Dad's doing to Mom, I've been doing to the couch pillows all day. And he's very sweet about it. He'll just come up and lick one of our toes. Just kind of like a, what do we think? How do we feel? Is this something that we could entertain? You know? And he will not stop. So my pre-sex ritual with my husband now is we're just naked filling all these toys full of peanut butter. Hundreds of toys, you know? It's worked great. The only issue is it has given me a Pavlovian response. I can't have peanut butter around other people now. Doesn't matter who you are, my boss, my mailman. If you're having peanut butter, I'm licking one of your toes. Clearly our dog is poorly trained. And I'll leave you on this. The reason he's poorly trained is not because I didn't try to train him. All right, I'll tell you what happened. When we first got Clarence, I went to a dog trainer studio, and I got this man's information. His name was Amos. Put it in my phone as Amos, A-M-O-S, is how you spell his name. I had every intention of texting him, setting up an appointment. That summer, on the side, I was making money coaching improv. Right? I don't know if you know what that is. It's a form of comedy or a pyramid scheme. I don't know where you are in your journey. You know? Okay? And whenever I couldn't make a coaching gig covered, I would text my improv friend, Amos. So I had his name in my phone as well, spelled A-M-O-S. All right? So one of these nights, I need an improv coaching gig covered. I accidentally text the dog trainer. Shouldn't be a problem. Should be something we catch right away. Except, for whatever reason, that summer, me and my improv friend Amos had an inside joke where we called improvisers crazy dogs. If you're keeping up, I've currently set the stage for a perfect who's on first situation. All right? I need an improv coaching gig covered. Accidentally text the dog trainer, hey, you free tonight? I need you to coach a couple of crazy dogs. Which is the one thing you say to a dog trainer, not weird. All right? So he responds, how many dogs? I think nothing of it. The joke is people are dogs. So I say 10 to 12. He responds, that's too many dogs. It's a perfect number to coach. I think my friend is kidding, you know? So I say, hey, we're meeting tonight at Champion Studios, which if you've never been, sounds like a fucking dog training place. Champion Studios. I say, What's your rate? All right? And he says $150. If you've ever done any kind of improv, that's a cartoonishly high rate. You know? That's like charging $50 for a muffin at the dollar store. You know? If anything, it's a hilarious joke answer. So I respond, lol. I'll tell them $30. Let's just recap what's happened. I've texted this dog trainer out of the blue. I'm asking him to coach 12 dogs. I've personally called crazy. If he's looked it up, a dance rehearsal space. And I'm saying he's gonna do it at an 80% discount. So he says, well, then I'm not coming. I'm annoyed. I'm like, Amos, we've done the bit. You've been very funny. Just say you're gonna coach these people. So I text this dog trainer, you better show up tonight. Or I will stab you. No response. I see the 3 little dots. And then they go away. And they come back. And finally he just writes, please don't. That's kind of the long answer as to how my dog doesn't know how to roll over. I'm Natasha Vaynblat. Thank you so much.